You know, it's interesting to have these stories back to back. You have, first of all, Walmart ruthlessly cutting health care benefits for 30,000 employees. And then Carlos Slim, the second richest man in the world, talking here, focused on philanthropy, hiring workers with disabilities, talking about giving internet to people who can't access it.
And he did it all without the giving pledge. You know, if you watch more of that interview that Betty did, he talked all about, I don't need to sign a pledge in order to do philanthropic endeavors. And so you have Buffett and Gates really going out there, twisting the arms of billionaires, making sure that they sign this pledge, that they'll commit at least half their fortunes to philanthropy. He says, we don't worry about budgets. We find a good project that we want to get involved with. We fund it, and we don't have to worry about, you know, the giving pledge. You know,
so, but that means, I guess, we won't see half of his $81.2 billion going to philanthropy.
Well, who knows? It doesn't really matter. It will probably go to his sons, and really you can't divest all of those fortunes. Most of those fortunes, if you're going to sell those companies in order to give it to philanthropy, you're going to lose thousands and thousands of jobs in the process. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that you give that fortune away in order to do things.
I wonder if Warren Buffett and Bill Gates might disagree with you.
We'll have them on and talk about it.
Matt, what kind of profile do you think Carlos Slim is trying to cut on the world stage right now?
Well, he's certainly one of more influence, and getting together with Anthony Shriver is somebody that you can really...
One way to get it.
One way to get a real good platform. But, you know, you have to look at what he's doing in business right now as a much more important thing. Shareholders of America Mobile have really benefited from the clarity that the Mexican regulators have given to that company. They say they're going to divest their assets. You know that Carlos Slim's going to cut a really shrewd price and get the most from, and then he's going to reinvest that perhaps in Europe, in other parts of LATAM. So there's a lot of benefit for him focusing on those things at the moment.
You know, last week Erik interviewed Bill Gates, and we announced him as the richest person in the world, and somebody in the office said, no, it's Carlos Slim. And I said, no, it's Bill Gates.
Right.
Type in Rich Go on your Bloomberg terminal, and you can see
this is what you'll find out.
The leaderboard, and it moves around a little bit, right? Are we going to see Carlos Slim catch up to Bill Gates anytime soon?
I think it has a lot to do with what Carlos Slim does, but also with what Bill Gates does. You have to remember that Bill Gates is not as much in Microsoft as people would think. Only 20% of his fortune is Microsoft. You have Canadian National Railroad. You have a company called Ecolab and Ecolab. These are really great companies that have had a huge run. Gates is up $8 billion for the year. Slim's up $6 billion.
And he has private investments, real estate investments,
right.
for example,
Four Seasons,
right,
through
Cascade, right?
Right. And so it really has to do with how does AMX do and Carlos Slim's other investments do, but really how does Bill Gates fare as well.
Is there a trend among billionaires globally to diversify their fortunes?
Well,
the way
that you sort of have to. If you look at Sheldon Adelson, for example, no. You keep all of your shares in LVS and you gamble that way. But I think once you step away from the companies that you're involved in, to get rid of the day-to-day management, you start to divest and reinvest in other companies and diversify out.